I think it's worth reflecting today not just on headlines but on heartbreak, the public and the personal plea of Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, for reconciliation with his family. In an interview that was as emotive as it was revealing, the Prince expressed sorrow, regret, desire for healing. Yet what makes this moment especially potent is not just his longing for family peace, but the stubborn and institutional barriers that now stand between a father and his son. And since stepping down as a senior royal in 2020, Prince Harry has relocated to California with his wife Meghan, their two children, and in so doing, he relinquished not only his titles and formal duties, but also, crucially, his guaranteed security protection. That decision, or rather the consequences of it, now casts a long shadow over any possibility of reconciliation. And following his legal defeat last week in the Court of Appeal, Harry made a rare public admission he cannot safely bring his family back to the United Kingdom. He claimed the Royal and VIP executive committees' refusal to provide him with consistent security put them at risk, and worse still, may have been designed to coerce his return into the royal fold. But the practical matter of protection is, as he sees it, just the visible tip of the iceberg. What lies beneath is estrangement, a rupture with his father, King Charles, and a silence that he can neither understand nor penetrate. "I don't know how much longer my father has," Harry said, referring to the King's ongoing cancer treatment. "He won't speak to me because of his security stuff. But it would be nice to reconcile." These are not the words of a prince in exile making demands of his institution. These are the words of a son pleading for his father's ear before it is quite literally too late. He added, "Of course, some members of my family will never forgive me, but life is precious. There's no point in continuing to fight anymore." This is not merely about memoirs and tabloid drama. It's about a man who fears history may repeat itself, who lost his mother to a media-fueled chase, and now sees his own children imperiled by the institutional apathy of the family that once promised to protect him. The legal argument, of course, is not enough to sway the courts. Harry's claim that he had been unfairly singled out and treated less favourably than others with similar risk profiles was rejected. The judgment was clear. His sense of injustice didn't translate into a legal entitlement. The court upheld the government's decision that protection would be granted only on a case-by-case basis. But in Harry's eyes, this was never simply a legal dispute. This was a moral one. The decision, he said, signalled to every government around the world not to protect us. To him, security is no longer just about safety. It's become a symbol of trust, of belonging, or the lack thereof. And what's more, this saga lays bare the sharp clash between monarchy as family and monarchy as institution. Where once the royal family could claim to be an unshakable unit, united in dignity if not affection, it now resembles an estranged assembly of litigants and press officers. Jelly Bond, the former BBC royal correspondent, noted that trust is at the root of the rift, and the King and the Prince of Wales, it is said, do not trust Harry to keep private conversations private, and his televised appeals may only entrench that suspicion. And yet, to dismiss Harry as simply disloyal or petulant is to ignore the extent of his vulnerability. It's evident that he carries the trauma of his mother's death, a trauma which continues to shape his every decision, and his plea is not for privilege, he insists, but for the simple right to return home with his family without fear. So where do we go from here? Reconciliation, Harry admits, may never come. His father may not forgive, his brother may not forget. But in saying publicly, "I would love reconciliation," he's taken a step few royals have dared. He has said the quiet part aloud. He has admitted the pain. He has stopped pretending that proximity to a crown is a guarantee of closeness. Whether the monarchy, not just a constitutional institution, but as a family, is ready to meet him halfway remains to be seen. For now, Prince Harry waits and hopes. And I must say, I have a lot of sympathy for him. I also was estranged from my father, both my fathers actually. One I never knew, I've never met. The other one, the day after my mother's funeral, we had a serious falling out. He beat me up, and we never spoke again. And while I must say I'm pleased not to suffer the blows, I regret that there wasn't a reconciliation, and so I understand, and I'm sympathetic to Prince Harry, and I always will be.